Hello and welcome to today's lesson, which will be on adrenal fatigue. So in my practice, I would say 60% of my clients will come in and one of the top 3 symptoms they will experience will be fatigue. Even after they had a great night's sleep, they always feel they have no pick up and go. And many times we'll look at the adrenals to see what's the state of the adrenals. But what I want to talk about today is more what are adrenals. A lot of people don't know where they are and what their functions are in the body. To put it simply, this is a very quick video on this. Adrenals are part of the endocrine system. So the nervous system, so the brain, and the endocrine system communicate very closely together. And the bridge between the two is the hypothalamus. So as an example, you're driving and someone cuts you off and you get frightened. So the emotion part is the nervous system. So you're frightened, you're afraid. And then all the reaction to that emotion is your endocrine system in action. So your heart rate is going to go up, your digestion will stop, your muscles will tense, you could lift a car. All of those are your endocrine glands that are releasing certain communicators to tell the body how to react. So that's putting it simply. And they all communicate together. So the glands in the endocrine system are your thymus, your pituitary, the thyroid gland, the adrenal glands, the ovaries and testes, and there's also the pancreas that falls in that category. So, and I think pineal that I forgot. So all of those together, they work synergistically. And if something happens that they're disrupted, then you're going to have symptoms. For example, the thyroid gland and the adrenal glands communicate back and forth. And many times when, let's say, your thyroid gland is not producing enough of the hormone that it is needed, then we look into the adrenals to see, are the adrenals not doing their job? So they're all communicated. For instance, when the hypothalamus will send a message to the pituitary gland is the center. So the hypothalamus is between the brain or the nervous system and the endocrine system, but the middle guy is the pituitary gland. That's where all the center goes there, and then the pituitary sends the proper signal. So let's say it's time for ovulation. The hypothalamus will send to the pituitary, which will send in return to the ovaries and say, release an egg. And menopause symptoms, for instance, is that the brain or the hypothalamus or pituitary sends the signal to the ovaries saying, release an egg, but there's no egg to be released. So then the body is saying, hey, I'm not, listening to you. So then you start having symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, irritability, all of those are real because there's a disruption. So what happens is when the ovaries are not able to function anymore, then they rely on the adrenals. And the adrenals need to be in tip-top shape to be able to take over because they will in return secrete estrogen that's needed. So that's just an example. So they all work together. And if any of those glands are disrupted, then you're going to feel symptoms. So that's basically, the easy explanation behind the endocrine system. So in my next video, I want to talk about how adrenal fatigue can happen, or are they being suppressed by disruptors? So I will see you in my next video.